My wife called me a loser. She didn't know I was recording everything. Sometimes the loudest arguments reveal the darkest truths. The first thing my wife threw wasn't a plate, it was my dignity. You know what? Emily shouted, pointing her finger inches from my face. I'm tired of pretending. I looked up for my coffee. Pretending what? That you're a man. Silence. The room felt colder. She crossed her arms and laughed. 34 years old. She looked around our kitchen with disgust. And this is all you could give me? I slowly placed my mug on the table. I work every day. You survive every day, she snapped. There's a difference. I took a deep breath. I had promised myself I wouldn't argue. Not today. Not after the conversation I had with my lawyer that morning. Emily continued. Do you know what Jessica posted today? No. Her husband bought her a Lamborghini. She pulled out her phone and shoved the picture in my face. Look. Yellow Lamborghini, huge mansion, designer clothes. She smiled at the camera. Emily looked back at me. And look at you. She laughed again. You still wear that stupid black jacket. I glanced down. It was the same jacket she'd bought me years ago, back when she said she loved me. I don't need expensive clothes. She rolled her eyes. Exactly. You don't need anything. That's why we'll never have anything. I stayed quiet. That made her even angrier. Say something. What do you want me to say? I want you to admit you're a failure. Those words hit harder than I expected, but I kept my face calm. Because she had no idea. This wasn't the first time she'd spoken to me like that, for almost a year. Something had changed. Small insults became daily attacks. Then came lies, then came secrets. And today, everything was about to explode. Emily grabbed her purse. I'm leaving. Where? She smiled. Somewhere I don't have to be embarrassed. I watched her walk toward the door. Then my phone vibrated. A notification. Camera 3, living room, motion detected. I didn't react. Emily opened the front door, then suddenly stopped. She turned around. I forgot something. She walked back inside, straight toward my office. She thought I didn't notice. But every room in the house was protected. Not because I didn't trust strangers, because I had started doubting my own wife months ago. 5 minutes later, she left. This time for real, or so she thought. I quietly opened the security app. Living room, kitchen, garage, office. I pressed play. Emily entered my office. She looked around carefully. Then, she opened my desk drawer. My heartbeat slowed. She wasn't looking for documents. She wasn't looking for money. She reached under the drawer and pulled out a spare key. The key to my private safe. She smiled. Then she took a photo of it. Not the key. The number engraved on it. She put everything back exactly as it was. Then walked away. I froze. Because only 3 people knew that safe existed. Me, my lawyer, and apparently my wife. Emily was gone. I replayed the footage 3 more times. There was no doubt. She had copied the safe key. But one question wouldn't leave my mind. Who was she working with? That evening, she came home smiling. Not the fake smile she used around me. A real one. She walked into the kitchen carrying shopping bags. You're home early, I said. She barely looked at me. Yeah. Where were you? She shrugged. With Jessica. I nodded. Liar. Her eyes snapped toward me. What did you just say? I said, I took another sip of coffee. You're lying, she laughed. Oh, really? You've become a detective now? I don't have to. What does that mean? I looked directly into her eyes. It means lies always leave footprints. For a split second, she looked nervous. Then she smiled again. You've been watching too many movies. Dinner was silent until her phone lit up. One message. She grabbed it so fast, I almost laughed. Who's texting you? No one. You answered pretty quickly for no one. She stood up. I'm taking this. She walked outside. I quietly opened the security cameras again. Backyard. Audio enabled, Emily whispered. I got it, a man's voice answered. Are you sure? Yes. I copied the number. Perfect. When? Tomorrow. My heart stopped. Tomorrow? Tomorrow what? The call ended. Emily stayed outside for another minute, then came back inside. She looked at me. I smiled. She smiled back. For the first time in months, we were both pretending. The next morning, I left the house at exactly 8 a.m., or at least, that's what Emily believed. Instead, I parked 2 streets away and waited. 8:37, a black SUV pulled into the driveway. A man stepped out. Expensive watch, designer suit, confident smile. Emily opened the front door before he even knocked. She hugged him. Not like friends, like lovers. They kissed, long enough for my dashboard camera to capture everything. Then, they walked inside my house. I didn't move. I simply pressed one button. Record. 20 minutes later, the man walked into my office, exactly where the safe was. Emily followed. She closed the door. He pulled a small electronic device from his pocket. I thought you said you had the code. I do. So why isn't it opening? Emily frowned. It should. The man tried again. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Then he kicked the safe. What the hell? Emily whispered. Maybe he changed it. The man looked furious. You told me this would be easy. It was. You promised me. He grabbed her arm, hard. She winced. I risked everything for this. I know. You better hope there's still something inside. Outside. I smiled, because 6 months ago, I had emptied that safe. Everything inside had been moved to another location. The only thing left was a sealed envelope. And inside that envelope was a single sentence. If you're reading this, you were never family. Emily stood frozen. The envelope slipped from her hands. The man beside her cursed under his breath. This has to be a joke. It isn't. The voice came from the doorway. Both of them turned. I was standing there. Calm, hands in my pockets. Neither angry nor smiling. Emily's face lost all color. How long have you been here? Long enough. The man stepped forward. Who the hell are you? I looked at him. The owner of this house. The owner of that safe. And the husband she lied to. Silence. Emily tried to speak. It's not what you think. I laughed quietly. Really? She nodded rapidly. You have to let me explain. I've been waiting for that explanation for almost a year. The man pointed at me. You set us up. No. You set yourselves up. I pulled out my phone. One tap. The living room television turned on. Security footage filled the screen. Emily copying the key. Emily kissing him. Emily searching through my office. Every angle, every word, every lie. Emily covered her mouth. No. The man stared at the television. You recorded us? I recorded everyone. Emily walked toward me. Cole? Please. I made a mistake. A mistake? I looked into her eyes. You called me worthless. You laughed at me. You cheated on me. You planned to steal from me. Those aren't mistakes. They're choices. Tears rolled down her face. I never wanted to hurt you. I shook my head. You already did. The other man suddenly laughed. So what? The safe was empty. You still lost. I smiled. You really think this was about money? His smile faded. I pulled another envelope from my jacket. This is why I called my lawyer yesterday. Emily frowned. What is that? Our divorce agreement. I signed it this morning. Her eyes widened. What? You wanted to leave. So I made it easy. She grabbed the papers with shaking hands. As she flipped through them, her breathing became heavier. No. No. This says... I finished the sentence for her. You received nothing. She looked up. You hid everything. No. I protected everything. The man beside her stepped closer. You're bluffing. I tossed him another folder. Open it. Inside were photos, bank transfers, property deeds, business documents, all dated 6 months earlier, the exact week. I first suspected Emily. He flipped through them. His confidence disappeared. You moved everything before either of you copied the key. Emily collapsed into a chair. I don't understand. You knew? I knew enough. I just needed proof. She whispered, So every argument, you already knew. I nodded. I was hoping you would stop. She began crying. I would have changed. No. You would have gotten better at hiding it. Silence filled the room. Then, a knock at the door. 3 firm knocks. The man looked toward the entrance. Who is that? I checked my watch. Right on time. 2 police officers entered. Behind them, my lawyer. Emily stood up. What is this? The lawyer calmly placed another folder on the table. This contains evidence of attempted theft, unlawful entry into a secured safe, and conspiracy. The man looked at Emily. You told me he was an idiot. Emily couldn't answer. The officers asked both of them to stay where they were. The man tried to argue. Emily simply stared at me. I loved you. I looked at her for a long moment. Maybe once. But somewhere along the way, you fell in love with what you thought I owned. And forgot who I was. She lowered her head. The officers escorted them toward the door. Just before leaving, Emily turned around. If I could go back... I interrupted her. You wouldn't. You'd just make sure I never found out. She had no answer. The front door closed. The house became silent, for the first time in months. It felt like home again. My lawyer walked over. You okay? I looked around the empty living room, then I smiled. I will be. He nodded. So, what now? I picked up the old black jacket hanging by the door, the same jacket Emily had laughed at. I put it on. Then I grabbed my car keys. Now, I'm going to build a life where I never have to prove my worth to anyone again. The end. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't taking everything from the people who betrayed you. It's letting them realize they lost someone they never truly deserved.